Call this Board of Health meeting to order. I will begin with the roll call of members.
Member Gall.
Here.
Member Lopes.
Here.
Member Rio. Here. Member McClellan.
Here.
Lieutenant Pro.
Here. We do not have any minutes prepared for this evening from past meetings. They will be submitted later. Is there any correspondence? It's not listed on the agenda. Okay. Petition and here visitors. I don't see anyone here visiting, but it's not city employee. All right, I see we have no old business, so we'll move on to our first item of new business, which is 246 South Avenue, owner Robert Erickson and Bethany Daly.
Yes, Mr. President, the city intends to claim Mr. Plowman as witness. Mr. Plowman, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear to affirm and tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
If you could, are you employed, sir?
Yes.
In what capacity?
I am the health director for the city of Bradford.
And you've been in that capacity for how long?
4 months.
And prior to that, you were employed, correct?
Yes.
And what capacity?
I was a property maintenance officer for the city.
And before that, you were employed? And in what capacity were you employed prior to that?
Employed by a local contractor for 12 years.
And in your current employment, you have special certifications and licenses, correct?
Sure.
And those require annual renewals and certifications and training.
Yes.
Mr. President, I would offer Mr. Plowman as a witness in tonight's proceeding, expert witness.
Accepted.
Turning to 246 South Avenue, are you aware of who owns 246 South Ave?
Yes.
Okay, who would that be?
Robert Erickson.
Okay. And in the course of your employment, you had occasion to take photographs of 246 South Ave, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm showing you what I've previously marked as exhibits A1 through A5. You recognize these photographs?
Yes.
And you personally took these photographs?
Yes.
And they're taken by you on November 27th, correct, of this year?
Correct.
And those photos accurately depict 246 South Ave as of that date, correct?
Correct.
Mr. President, I would move the omissions of exhibits A1 through A5.
They are accepted.
Now, focusing on 246 South Ave and the photographs, what do the photographs depict?
The structure has had a fire and compromised the entire structure.
A little more about maybe some specific violations. The pictures speak for themselves, but roof, windows, siding, structure, things like that.
Yeah, so the roof had burnt out on one side of the house. I believe all of the windows are broken. The house is all still contains some burnable, flammable material, combustible material, and should be considered dangerous.
And from November 27th to today's date, any major changes in the structure of the property?
No.
And it's based on your testimony that it's, in your opinion, that the property is a public nuisance, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you've had a chance to review the proposed order for the Board of Health regarding 246 South Ave, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And to your knowledge, all statements are true, to your opinion?
Yes.
Okay. I have no further questions regarding 246 South Ave.
Okay, from the pictures, it's obvious the property is unsecured.
Correct.
It's also pretty obvious that the structure is beyond repair, with holes in the roof and rot, and it's pretty obvious by the pictures. Is there any sign of anyone being in the structure?
No, there's no sign. There is, when I was up there to take the photos, as a matter of fact, the neighbor on the right-hand side had some younger children. But I didn't see any signs that they had been in and out of there.
All right, that's all the questions I had. The pictures speak for themselves.
Have we been in touch with the owners?
I have not. I'm not sure what, as far as, you know, so I assume you're asking due to insurance. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was just curious if we know what the situation is with the owners, what their intent is. Any of those
I
people.
personally have not, no.
Okay.
It's been vacant for some time.
Yeah, so I believe at the time of the fire it was vacant.
When was that?
The fire was in, June of 23.
So we, issued any violations to the owner of this building?
Not that I'm aware of.
So I have to go back to my question that I had thought, why are we not issuing violations and finding them?
I can tell you that it is in the scope for the future. We do have to get over a little bit of a hump here, but we are working to correct that for the future. Hopefully, within a year's time, we can be back on track.
Okay. Because, it's an opportunity for the city to make some money and obviously the homeowner, not obviously, but most likely got insurance for this building. And now we're gonna pay to have it torn down, so.
If they would have had insurance at the time of the fire, we have a fire escrow ordinance that gives us a portion of that. So evidently that tells me that they most likely did not have. But we do get a portion of it. Any insurance money is awarded in a city record
Okay,
to hold on to until the structure is rehabilitated or demolished.
that's good to know.
So this really came to light. I know some of these properties that we've been looking at were on the city's radar back in the, I'm gonna say the time between 2005 and maybe 2010 or 12. And because of resources, different issues, we've had, you know, we just weren't able to address it. And now we hopefully have the resources to address them. But I guess what I'm getting at here is, has this property before June of 23 when the fire happened, has it ever been on the city's radar as being a problem?
I believe property maintenance had been out there not long before the fire and taken some pictures. But I'm not familiar with what was, if there was any violations issued.
Okay, so we can pretty much assume that this is a property that's only been on the city's radar for a couple of years.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. All right, I have no further questions.
I don't know if I'd make that assumption, but
Well, yeah, by looking at it, I'm not sure I want to either, but,
I make a motion to declare 246 South Avenue public nuisance.
second,
all right, we'll do a roll call vote on 246 South Avenue.
yes.
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 Yes. Okay, we will move on to 265 South Avenue, which is owned by Sufficient Home LLC.
Mr. Plowman, in the course of your employment, you're familiar with the property at 265 South Ave, correct?
Correct.
And to your knowledge, who owns 265 South Ave?
It is owned by Sufficient Home LLC. The owner is Benjamin and Amber Robeson.
And in the course of your employment, you had occasion to take photographs at 265 South Ave.
Yes.
And showing you what I've marked as exhibits A1 through A20. You recognize these photographs,
Yes.
and you personally took these photographs,
Yes.
and they were taken by you on November 27th of this year, correct?
Correct.
Do they accurately depict the condition of the property as of that date? Yes.
Yes.
Your Honor, excuse me, Mr. President, I would move the admission of exhibits A1 through A20.
They are accepted.
Mr. Plowman, if we could go through what the photographs depict. You were at the property and observed the conditions, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did you observe anything regarding the electrical service?
Yes, the service cable is frayed and deteriorated.
Any observations regarding the foundation?
There is some, yes, there is some masonry structural problems with this structure.
Any issues with the roof you observed?
This roof is missing the ridge cap, therefore the roof was never completed, which has allowed, water to infiltrate underneath the metal roofing.
Any observations regarding the siding?
The siding is almost non-existent. It is exposed OSB, and, missing several spots.
Any observation regarding windows?
The windows are, some are boarded up, some are broken. They are all in poor condition.
Any observation regarding the eaves?
Yes, the eaves have deteriorated and in poor condition.
Any observation regarding the front porch roof, anything regarding that?
The front porch, which one? This is, here's the pictures. So yes, so this front porch, roof was, torn off. It had a pitched roof on the front. They had replaced it with a flat roof, which appears to now be leaking. And the front porch is, the sills under there are severely deteriorated.
And when you say sill, there was a photograph of the sill plate. Any observation regarding the sill plate?
Yes, it's, there's no way you could secure anything through that or anchors.
And because of those, do those conditions you just testified to violate the property maintenance code?
Yes.
Okay. And for those reasons, it's in your expert opinion that 265 South Ave is public nuisance, correct?
Correct.
Is the property secured?
This is one.
Yep.
Okay, that property is secure.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Okay, so I guess I'll address that property being secured. I do notice there are some interior pictures. Were those taken through the window?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, all right. I guess the first observation is it appears there's been some renovations started on this property. There's a partial new metal roof, which you expressed there's no ridge cap on.
Mhm.
And there's some siding, and I see things like J-channel and things like that for siding that was started in different areas. Do we know how long ago those renovations were done? Were there ever any city permits pulled to do any of those renovations?
I don't know that there had been any city permits pulled to do the renovations, but I can tell you that even if there were renovations made, this house structurally would not be up to code
Yeah,
due to the amount of deterioration.
yeah, that's obvious. Your pictures of the foundation
Mhm.
are very telling. And I guess I will address one more thing with the roof. You said the ridge cap was not there. And I noticed some of the pictures you took on the inside was showing plastic draped across the inside. So we can assume there's quite a bit of water damage from the roof not being completely covered.
Yes, I would assume that there's some damage to the water coming from the roof.
Do we have any idea how long it's been since this structure's been occupied?
At least since 2018.
Who are the people behind the LLC and are they local?
They live in Eldred, and I have spoke with them.
What's the story?
Story was is they were trying to get some money rounded up and they were gonna fix both their structures that they own here in the city.
Do they own any other structures besides the two that are on the agenda tonight? City of Bradford, do they own any that have been fixed up adequately or rental units or anything?
No.
Make a motion to declare 265 South Avenue public nuisance.
All right, we'll do a roll call vote on 265 South Avenue.
McGall,
Yes.
Member Lopez,
Yes.
Real,
Yes,
Yes,
President.
Yes. All right, we will move on to 275 South Avenue, which is also owned by Sufficient Home LLC.
Mr. Plowman, in the course of your employment, you're familiar with the property at 275 South Ave, correct? And are you aware of who owns 275 South?
Yeah, Sufficient Home LLC, Benjamin and Amber Robeson.
And you had occasion to take photographs of 275 South Ave, correct?
Correct.
I'm showing you what I previously marked as exhibits A1 through A23. Do you recognize these photographs?
Yeah.
And they are of 275 South Ave, correct?
Correct.
And you personally took these photographs,
Yes.
and these were taken by you on November 27th, correct, this year? Do those photographs accurately depict the condition of the premises as of that date?
Yes.
I would move for the admission of exhibits A1 through A23, Mr. President.
Accepted.
But Plowman, any major changes from that date as of today's date?
No.
Okay. Focusing on the conditions of 275 South Ave, do you observe anything regarding the roof?
Yes, the roof, does have roof jacks on a few sections of the roof. Also, on another section of the roof, the shingles are curled and deteriorated, and also there's a few large holes
In the roof?
in the roof itself.
Any observation regarding the siding of the structure?
The siding is deteriorated all the way around, peeling paint, and in poor condition.
Any observations regarding the foundation?
The foundation does have, some structural issues.
Is the property secured?
This property is not secured. In one of the photographs, you can see that somebody had been using a chair to, enter a window on the back of the structure.
So you were able to gain access to the interior?
I was able to gain access to the interior, but I did not.
You didn't enter the structure?
I did not.
You were able to observe the interior. What did you observe?
Just that the majority of the interior of the structure is gutted. Nothing has been, what I would consider rehab, just, gutted.
And there were pictures of the front porch. Any observations regarding the front porch?
So that front porch is in poor condition. It's very shaky. I was very cautious about where I stepped on it.
And all of the observations and conditions you testified to, do they violate the property maintenance code?
Yes,
And it's because of that, in your expert opinion, that 275 South Ave is a public nuisance, correct?
correct.
I have no further questions, Mr. President.
Well, from one of the pictures that you had taken of the electric meter, it appears there's an electric service, active electric service in the house.
So, I'm not sure if how Penelec is doing this, but I've come across this quite a few times with the meters. Sometimes the meters flash off, other times they don't. I'm not sure if there's live power going in that house or not.
And so you had stated that people have been entering and leaving the house. So it appears that we may have some squatters.
It did appear that, people had been gaining access
Okay.
to that back window.
Do we, I guess in this case, with it being unsecured, do we have any police reports or any other city reports that would indicate there's been other trouble with this house other than just the structure?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm not saying there isn't.
I guess that's all the questions I had. Pictures, as with the last couple houses, speak for themselves.
If I can also add that, you can't see real well in that one picture, but there is sheets of asbestos that are laying out in the front yard. There's a pile of shingles. and some of the things that you can barely see in the picture, I should have taken a better picture, but that is asbestos sheeting. And
Green or siding?
no, it's not even siding, it's
Sheeting.
like, yep,
Yeah.
sheeting. And that yard is, just full of debris. All back and on the side, front porch, all around.
What about the pigeons? Some
Pigeons,
or something.
pigeons on the-
Yeah.
Are they inside the house too?
You know, they were mostly on the neighbor's house for some reason, I don't know why.
So the pigeons won't be displayed.
I have a
No,
question about Tom. They were probably afraid of falling through the roof on this house. That's why they,
I have a question for Mr. Shriver. All of these notices to the property owners indicate that if they don't respond in 30 days, we can move forward. Are we currently in a situation where on the 31st day, or being a little bit facetious, but after that 30-day period, are we putting these homes out to bid for destruction?
If we get all the certified mailings back, if not, we have to do a legal notice for another 30 days.
Okay. All right.
And then it goes down to, it has to be perfected by legal counsel, and then it goes to OCD.
Okay.
And Karen can today what they do.
I make a motion we declare 275 South Avenue public nuisance.
Second.
okay, we do a roll call vote on 275 South Avenue.
Member Gall.
Yes.
Member Lopez. Member Rio.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes,
Yes. All right, we'll move on to 125 High Street. Roberto Perez is the owner.
Mr. Plowman, in the course of your employment, you're familiar with the property at 125 High Street, correct?
Correct.
And do you have knowledge of who owns 125 High Street?
Roberto Perez.
And you had occasion to take photographs of this property, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And showing you what I've marked as previously A1 through A18. You recognize these photographs?
Yes.
Okay. And you personally took these photographs on November 26th, correct?
Correct. There is two that we're taking today, that were added to that file.
Okay, they are dated today.
Okay, so it's A17 and A18 are dated today, correct? Okay. And all of those photographs depict the condition of the property as of the date they were taken, correct? Accurately depict that.
Correct. Yeah.
I would move for the admission of exhibits A1 through A18.
They are accepted.
From those dates, Mr. Flanagan, any major changes to the property to today's date?
No.
And focusing on what the photographs depict, it's clear that the property is unsecured, correct?
Correct.
And you were able to gain access to the interior?
Yes.
And what have you observed regarding the interior, if anything?
The interior is full from floor to rafters, with belongings. I don't know why, but this house is crammed for that stuff. This is an extreme fire hazard in there. There is items that are stored in the attic. It's just extremely full.
Unsecured?
It is unsecured. I don't know that there's a window that has not been broken in that structure.
Well, is this the one that the owner lived in, or he lived down the street a while back?
I think he lived down the street. I think his girlfriend broke the windows.
Ah, well.
That's the story I heard.
She did a Lizzie Borden on it. Bad.
Any observations regarding the floors?
Yeah, so the floors the floor joists have come detached and, are actually, laying on the dirt in several spots.
Any observation regarding the back porch?
The back porch structure is entirely collapsed. So,
And from the photographs, any observation regarding any utility services?
I was unable to locate where the gas meter may have been. In one of the pictures, there's two holes in the siding on one side. But I can't even tell where the gas supply had come from. The electrical service is, detached at the weatherhead, it stops at the weatherhead. And also, out on the back, behind the structure, for some reason, there is probably a 20 by 20 circle with at least 8 inches of water bottles, pop bottles. I don't know why, but they're this deep out back there. It's just riddled with garbage behind the structure.
Yeah.
There was also a raccoon in there, was in there on the second floor,
Poor guy.
In the structure.
in the structure, in the wall, he was going up in the attic.
And those conditions you testified to violate the property maintenance code, correct?
Correct.
And because of that, it's in your opinion that 125 High Street is a public nuisance, correct?
Correct.
I have no further questions.
What's is the owner out and about? Is he still away on a long stay?
He's under the impression that he was. What's that?
He was out, but I'm not sure.
Wow. I mean, the place is just full of mattresses and junk and
It's falling apart.
it's falling apart and
I make a motion, we declare 125 High Street a public nuisance.
okay, we'll do a roll call vote on 125 High Street.
Yes.
Ferrero.
Yes.
Pecora.
Yes.
President Pro.
Yes. All right, 52 East Avenue. Robert Frank Schaefer is the owner.
Mr. Plowman, in the course of your employment, you had occasion, or are you familiar with 52 East Ave?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, who owns 52 East Ave?
Robert Schaefer?
Okay. And you had occasion to take photographs of 52 East Ave?
Correct.
I'm showing you what I previously marked as exhibits A1 through A13. Do you recognize these photographs?
Yes.
And you personally took these photographs on November 27th and 8/10 through A13 on December 10th. That would be today's date, correct?
Correct.
And those photographs accurately depict the property as of the dates they were taken?
Yes.
I would move the admission of exhibits A1 through A13.
They are accepted.
From November 27th, at least today's date, any major changes regarding the property? And focusing on the conditions of the property, what the photographs depict, just generally, what can you tell the board regarding the condition?
Just the overall conditions of the structure have deteriorated over time. Basically, with the location and the current conditions of the interior and exterior of this property, just an overall general, this structure will now be salvageable.
Is the property secured?
It is not secured.
Did it gain access into the interior?
Yes.
What did you observe, if anything, regarding the interior?
So the interior, there's large holes in some of the floors. The floors are extremely spongy. Ceilings have collapsed and fought. It has sustained some water, quite a bit of water damage over the course of the night.
And when you say spongy, did you observe any leakage from the roof?
Yes.
And one of the pictures depicts severe deterioration in would be the second floor joists and floorboards.
Yes.
Any observations regarding a porch, front or back?
The front porch is, in both rear and porch are in poor condition. Just overall, the structure is in poor condition.
Any utility services that you observed?
There are no utility services at all.
And those conditions you testified to violate the property maintenance code, correct?
Correct.
And it's because of that, it's in your expert opinion that 52 East Avenue is a public nuisance, correct?
Correct.
I have no further questions.
Any recent contact with this owner?
So I have searched rigorously, Mr. Schaefer is deceased, and I cannot find living family related to that.
He's deceased.
He is deceased, yeah.
That's been a long time since we lived in that house. That's probably one of the oldest meters I've seen on electric meter I've seen in a house. No.
I actually reached out to, family members of a different Robert Schaefer, not knowing that, there was two Robert Schaefers, and, kind of started down a rabbit hole and realized that I was dealing with two Robert Schaefers.
Both were deceased. Both were deceased.
Oh, for
How long since somebody's lived in that house? It's a long time.
So there's no active water service since 2010.
I make a motion, we declare 52 East Avenue a public nuisance.
Second.
All right, we'll do a roll call vote on 52 East Avenue.
Yeah.
yes.
Member Royal.
Yes.
Member Carr.
Yes.
President.
Yes. And just one very quick follow-up question on this 52 East Avenue. Because we have a deceased property owner and we have not been able to make contact with any responsible party, does this complicate our process in moving forward, or does it actually make it simpler?
It would just complicate it as of notice. We'd have to make sure if there's an estate proceeding, if not, if there are errors, locatable errors to that effect.
Don't locate it. I think the final option would be to go to court and ask for permission to serve by publication.
Correct.
And in our local rules of court, they tell you 4, 5, 6, 7 things you have to do to show a good faith effort. You know, check with the post office, blah, blah, blah. So,
Well, I presume that process will start. It's a little different process than we normally follow, but it will start.
And based on the public record, this is currently in a repository, this property.
Okay. All right.
If I can, there's gonna be multiple of these coming up.
Okay. All right. Okay, is there any other business before the Board of Health this evening? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All right, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Meeting is